Oh hey beauties, happy Sunday, welcome back to my channel. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. I'm sitting super far from the camera, but I thought today's priority is that we have all of this shoe action in front of us, because I had a realization recently that I basically curated my dream summer shoe collection, and I thought it would be a shame not to share it with you. So here we are. We have, how many shoes do we have? We have 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16
pairs of shoes to talk about. I'm by no means saying that you need to have 16 pairs of summer shoes to get by in summer. I think 16 pairs of shoes is ridiculous. I'm not wearing all of these on a daily basis, right? But let's start with the ones I'm wearing the most, and then we just go further and further into like the fun occasional shoes, because I think the best shoes to have is probably the ones you wear the most, and then the fun occasional shoes, those are nice to have. So starting with my most worn pair of summer shoes this summer, my Hermès loafers. These are my noir Hermès loafers, basically the ones in patent leather and gold hardware. These shoes I think are fabulous, stunning, amazing, gorgeous. They go with literally everything. I think I got these at the very beginning of this year because I remember getting them and I'm like, it's not warm enough to wear these, but I'm so looking forward to wearing them. And my intuition was right, because as soon as the weather warmed up, I started wearing these and I haven't gone back ever since. As with most things, I got these on Vestiaire Collective. I had a sole put underneath them so that they have the rubber sole both under the main part of the foot but also on the heel, because as you know, that's one of the ways that I make sure that my shoes stand the test of time, because when they come with a leather sole like shoes like these do, then basically you run the risk of wearing them out way too quickly and they won't stand the test of time in your wardrobe. So if you intend on wearing shoes like this quite a lot, then I would advise you to put a sole under them, which was what I did, and these have served me so well. I did size up half a size in these, so true to size I would be a size 37.5 European. These are a size 38, and I'm so glad I sized up actually, because these are quite a rigid loafer, right? And in rigid loafers, my experience has basically been that if I buy them true to size with a rigid material like this, it will just cut into my feet and I'll just have the worst time breaking them in. But these have worked out so well. They fit me perfectly and they've been so comfortable, and I am just so happy to have these, and these were such a great purchase, obviously also because I'm really enjoying wearing black outfits this summer, and these literally go so well with everything if I have it grounded in black, right? And also I think they add an extra like pop of fun because they are in a patent leather. Now patent leather on shoes I think is quite tricky. Be careful when you buy patent leather stuff. Don't buy a light color in patent leather, because once you get a stain on patent leather, there's not really anything you can do about it, right? So black I think is safe, darker colors also safe, but anything in a lighter color in patent leather I would steer clear. I also bought basically the same pair of shoes but in a brown color, because I wore these, the black ones, so much, and I had so many outfits where I was just like, oh my god, if I had a brown pair of shoes in a similar style like the black patent leather loafers from Hermès, I would be thriving, literally. So I scouted the internet for shoes like this and I found these. These are basically a suede leather loafer but in the same exact style. These I also got in a size 38. Now in reality, in summer, if it's warm outside, then likely your feet will swell a little bit, at least mine do. So I think having a summer shoe in like half a size up from your true size is probably a good idea, right? But these are in a suede, so they do have a little bit more give, especially as they warm up. That being said, I haven't had an issue with them being a size 38, but I just think I could have gotten away with a size 37.5 too. But I'm very, very happy to have these. I've worn them so much, and a happy accident was that they match my Hermès belt perfectly. So these and my Hermès belt have just been my obsession this far into summer, and I'm so happy to have these too. And a loafer like this, I know some of you guys think they look heavy worn with a dress and stuff, but for me, since I walk literally everywhere, a shoe with a little bit more of a substantial sole and a little bit of a lift in the heel is just more comfortable versus wearing like a sandal or something like an Hermès Oran. I could not walk my 10,000 steps a day in an Hermès Oran, but in a comfortable loafer I can, right? Because these are a substantial shoe. They're a real shoe that sits comfortably on your foot, right? Which is why I adore loafers so much. You'll see throughout this collection that I definitely do have a preference for loafers loafers over any other shoe style for summer. Now, just quickly on a bit of a boring shoe, right? These are my Saint Laurent sneakers that I've just had for years and years. I've put like a sports sole in them because these I can also walk so far in, and these are like my, when I have to walk far in a day and I still want to wear a chic or kind of chic shoe, right? Then I wear these. And since I put in the sports sole, they've just been even more comfortable. They start looking a little bit sad underneath them, I'm not gonna lie, so I don't want to hold them like I've been holding the other shoes. They are not in pristine condition, but that doesn't bother me when it comes to a sneaker. It's not something I wear for fashion particularly, but they are a little bit more of a fashionable, comfortable shoe in my opinion. So if I'm gonna have like a shopping day and I know I'm gonna walk like 15,000 steps, then I might prefer these over something like this, even though these feel chicer to me. But these are a little bit more like when Amanda is in sports mode, then she wears these. So if you don't have like a chicer type of sneaker, I would definitely recommend you to get one. But I mean, everyone has been obsessed with wearing sneakers and sneakerinas and all of the things, right, with actual outfits. So I don't think I'm the first one to tell you this. And also, I don't think a sneaker is like the fashionable option to wear in any outfit, to be completely honest. But there are just those days where you need a sneaker, and those Saint Laurent sneakers have been my favorite sneakers. What size do I have these in? That might be helpful. These are in a size 37.5. So my true shoe size, and also I fit that sports sole in them, so do with that what you will. I also bought a Saint Laurent pair of sneakers in a size 36.5 before those. Those were way too small, so do not do what people tell you on the internet and size down like an entire size in Saint Laurent sneakers. At least that did not work out at all for me, so I got my true size and now we're all good. Now, because you cannot always show up with a big Hermès H on your shoe, right? I also have a pair of like more understated, quiet luxury, if you will, loafers. These are from Ecco. I think Ecco is a Danish brand or something. And my mom is a fan of Ecco because they basically make foot-friendly but still nicely designed shoes. And these, I think, are just brilliant. They're super comfortable. I have them in a size 38 as well, so I sized up half a size. They're just that understated loafer that works with everything. When I need to be a little bit more like non-branded, then these go perfectly. And these I've had for years and years, and they're just brilliant. And I think a pair of shoes like this, new in the store, are probably like 200 euros, which is not too bad for an all leather, timeless, comfortable, and well put together shoe, right? So I think Ecco is a great brand. And because they came with a rubber sole from the beginning, I haven't even had to put a sole under them. So that's kind of a win in one way, I guess. Even though I prefer when a shoe comes with a leather sole because it feels a little bit more luxurious in a way, even though you have to do the work to make them stand the test of time, but whatevs. Also, if I want to wear a brown loafer that doesn't have a Hermès H on it, then I bring out these. These I bought at the end of last year, I think it was. Yes, it was. I bought them for super cheap on Sellpy. I was considering returning them because they are a little bit sticky, but honestly, since these are just like a grab and go loafer for me, it's nothing like special. It's nothing that I have to be precious about. They fit me absolutely perfectly, and these are in a size 37.5. When I put these on, it felt like I'd already worn them for decades. So these I can walk so far in, and they're just brilliant. The color is fabulous. It's that dark espresso brown color that I'm so obsessed with. I adore them so much, and I'm so happy to have them in my collection as like the understated version of these. And obviously these are a little bit more of a chocolate brown, and these are a little bit more of an espresso brown. So they're just here for different vibes, you know, which is just brilliant. Also, I think my final pair of loafers are these. They're a super bright pair of Gucci patent leather loafers with silver hardware. These are not really my general aesthetic, right? But just sometimes I bring them out and I'm like, no, I'm never gonna sell these because first off, I would get nothing for them. Likely I didn't pay much for them anyway. They are a size 37.5. They're so comfortable. They fit me perfectly, and they're just amazing, stunning, gorgeous. And obviously there are more timeless versions of a Gucci loafer. If I bought a Gucci loafer today, I probably would buy like a black or a brown kind of Princeton loafer, you know, those with the little horse bit on it. But I kind of have my perfect black or brown loafer, so I don't need any more loafers. And likely, if I bought a loafer today, Case in point with the two first loafers in this video, I probably wouldn't buy a Gucci loafer anyway, because I've realized I'm not a Gucci girly, but these I've had for forever. I'm not gonna get rid of them, but they are my last pair of loafers in this little that was a complete lie. I forgot these. These are a pair of Hermès loafers, but I have them in Saint Laurent dust bags. These would go so well with my outfit today, with just my oversized vintage denim. These are the ones that I got from my mom that she wore in the 80s, and then just a navy blue little linen shirt. They have that little kind of palladium Kelly buckle on them, which I think is just so chic. And obviously a pair of navy blue loafers with the core like pops of colors in my wardrobe being like a sapphire blue and a Bordeaux red. Then these types of loafers are just perfect, right? Because if I want to wear an all navy blue outfit, I need something like this. And then you might be like, Amanda, where are your Bordeaux colored loafers? You don't have any. I'm like, no, I agree. I probably should get some. But I actually have a Bordeaux colored ballet flat. I guess we can call them. Yes, they're very much ballet. I will show those to you later, but I don't wear those too much. But when I feel the need to have like a Bordeaux colored shoe, then those are what I wear. But these, so chic. I'm so happy to have them in my collection. I think I got these last year as well, but in the beginning of last year, and I've had so much fun wearing them. Yes, I have them stuffed. They stay put for a while, right? But if you don't have that basically little support in it, they start collapsing a little bit and lose their shape, so I just keep them stuffed when I don't wear them. These are a pair of Aquazzura little lace-up flats. These I've had for forever. I've just recently put a sole under them because I was like, I'm not wearing them super often, so maybe I don't need a sole. But I just think when you add a little rubber sole like this, you get that additional padding, which makes them more comfortable to wear. So I've now finally gotten them sold at the cobbler. The cobbler was not a fan of me when I handed these in. He was like, Amanda, what am I supposed to do with this shoe? I'm like, please just put a sole under them. So I think he had them for like half a year, and he said every day he was dreading taking on this little shoe project, but he did it, and he did it perfectly, so I'm very grateful for that. But they're a little bit different for me, right? Because they have that kind of lace-up detail. They are basically a little crocheted shoe, right? But they have that suede component on the back, both on the outside and on the interior of the shoe, which makes them bearable to wear. Because if this did not have basically that leather strip on the side of the foot and on like the heel of the shoe, I mean, these would be unbearable to wear, because something like this that's crocheted, that's not lined with something on the interior of the shoe, I think you would just be suffering all day. But these are super cute. I'm gonna try to make a point to wear them more, because I haven't worn them in such a long time, and I think it's kind of a shame that I haven't worn them. But they're definitely part of the shoes that I think of when I think of my shoe collection as it is currently. So these are just brilliant. Let's put them away for a bit to talk about the other pair of Bordeaux red shoes. These are a pair of Manolo Blahnik. They're not a Hangisi, but they're something of that sort. They don't have like the square little buckle on the front. They have a circular one instead, and they do have that space in between basically the toe cap and the heel. And these are so comfortable. I've seen so many reviews of people saying that Manolo Blahnik flats are not comfortable. I think that is driven by the people not getting the right size, because these so comfortable for me. I've worn them so many times and I have not gotten a single blister from them. They are obviously in a Bordeaux red, which is just the perfect color, to be completely honest, for my wardrobe. These are just such a favorite. I have put a little sole under these too. I think last time I wore these, I wore them to a wedding, so they are a little bit dusty. I probably should clean them a little bit, but they're brilliant. And I adore them so much. Did I say that I sized up half a size? So I have a size 38 in these. If you're considering Manolo Blahnik flats, may I suggest that you do size up half a size, because I think otherwise they will probably be uncomfortable, as many other people say on the internet, and then you won't wear them, right? So then kind of what's the point? These are my only like actual, you know, basic ballet flats, and these I've had for forever. They are a pair of Novita shoes. What size are these? These are a size 36 37 actually. In Sweden, we have this kind of shoe store called Curated. There you can find Novita shoes. It's kind of a no-name brand in my opinion. I don't really know the backstory of this brand at all, but they have so many of those shoes, and I've had these literally since I was 15, I think, and they've just served me so well. And since I'm not really a ballet flat girly, then I don't really need to buy another pair of ballet flats, right? Because these are the ballet flats I would gravitate towards if I was to wear a ballet flat, right? So I just keep on wearing them for the like once a year where I need to wear a ballet flat with my outfit. Need to wear was a little bit dramatic, but when I want to wear a ballet flat, they do lack kind of a little heel on the bottom of the shoe, right? Which makes them a little bit uncomfortable to walk in, I'm not gonna lie. It would have been better if they had something like this, right? Where you do have that tiny heel on the back, but these just have nothing. They just have a thin sole. But like I said, I wear ballet flats like once a year when they go with my outfit, right? So it's not really something that I'm too bothered about. Now we have a pile of shoes. These are just fun shoes. Yes, let's start with these because these are not in a box still. These are also a pair of Aquazzura heels, and I don't think you can have a dream summer shoe collection without a little strappy sandal, which is what these are. These are nothing special, and it's I think a 7-centimeter heel or something like this, which is my preferred heel height. They have a little zipper at the back, which I think is kind of annoying. I would prefer if they didn't have a zipper, but then probably the lace-up component would be a little bit annoying to deal with. I think a little black lace-up sandal is a staple in anyone's summer shoe collection, right? I have these, I've had them for forever. They probably should have a little rubber sole under them, but I don't wear these a lot, right? I just wear them when it's absolutely necessary for a little black lace-up sandal, which in my lifestyle is not often, but it's just one of those things. It's something that I think I kind of have to have in my wardrobe. I don't need to optimize it further than this because they're just a suede/leather shoe, and they're comfortable and they're kind of chic, I think, and they just get the job done. So I think these are just my one-stop shop when it comes to a black strappy sandal. I have some Manolo Blahnik shoes. I just quickly wanted to run them through because these are obviously also something I wear in summer, specifically these white ones I've worn so much. You might be like, well, like where would you wear a white shoe? But honestly, a white little Manolo Blahnik shoe you can wear any day, anytime. A shoe like this. Obviously, it's recognizably Manolo Blahnik, but I don't think people outside of the like shoe space or like designer fashion space knows what this is. They just see a little like shoe with some sparkles on it and they're like, great, you have a little heel. And these are also, by the way, in a, yes, 7-centimeter heel or 70 millimeters. The interesting thing with these though is that for all my Manolo Blahnik heels, I wear a size 37. Like I said, for the flats, I wear a size 38. So I size up basically half a size for the flats and I size down half a size for the heels, and they fit me perfectly. I can walk literally like these I've worn for some lengthy events and have been able to walk comfortably in these literally all day. Also because they're a 7-centimeter heel, and also because for me Manolo Blahnik heels are super comfortable compared to like I have a pair of Louboutin Pegase. They're not in this collection video because I find them so uncomfortable that I don't consider them as part of my summer shoe collection. And the Louboutin Pegase, they're in a heel height 7.5 centimeters. So it's not about the heel height in this scenario, right? It's just about the construction of the shoe. But with this shoe, you don't have like a very high arch, right? Which makes them very comfortable. And also as you wear them, like as the night goes on, I feel like they expand a little bit because they have a leather inner and then a satin outer material. And every time I wear them, like when you have an event and you walk around a lot and you sit down and then you walk around, blah blah blah, your feet kind of swell. But I feel like these swell with my feet and it just works out perfectly. Maybe that's TMI, but I just find these such a great shoe both for summer and winter. But I've worn these for some summer events and I'm so happy to have them. Now I think these are the green ones. These are not my favorite Manolo Blahnik heels, but they are a heel that I'm just like, no, I got them. I cannot return them, and the color is kind of fun, but I don't wear this color a lot. I think this color would go well with like a navy blue, like we see right here on the screen, right? But otherwise I kind of struggle with this green color. So I was probably not the smartest in my choice of this color, but I was just on a roll of buying Manolo Blahnik shoes, and I was just like, oh my god, that green color is fabulous. I need it. And I could see this going fabulously for summer. I haven't really worn them a lot, maybe once or twice, I think. And obviously they're the same heel height, so the 7cm heel. So they're super comfortable still, but it's just the maybe wrong color choice for me. I've thought about selling them, but I've always changed my mind because I'm just like, what's the point in selling them? I would rather just have them in my collection as an asset, right, in case I needed a green heel, versus selling them. And if I want to wear a black heel, but I don't want to wear a strappy sandal, then I can wear these, which are my Manolo Blahnik Hangisi heels in a black color. These are what are these? A 10.5cm heel? Yes, 10.5, which is a little bit high, I'm not gonna lie. So if I bought these today, I probably would have bought the 7cm heel height. But when I bought them, I did not have the foresight of getting older and preferring a lower heel. So these are just what they are. I mean, how often do I wear these? Not a lot, and when I do, I just bear with the heel height. And these are not like the most summery shoe either, but sometimes you do have those occasions where you're like, I don't want to wear a strappy sandal, but I want to wear a black heel, and then it's just simply time for the Manolo Blahnik black heel. So these are a great asset to have in my wardrobe. Like I said, maybe not the most summery, but you know, you never know when you need something like this, and these are just great. A Manolo Blahnik shoe is literally the comfiest heel you can wear in my opinion, and I, like I said, size down half a size in the heels, half a size up in the flats. A little fun heel that I feel is so summer ready that I got from or that I found in my attic that I got from my grandma are these. These are just so fun. They're a pair of Garolini heels. I don't really know a lot about this brand. They have a leather sole, they're a leather shoe. They are that like juicy pop of color that sometimes summer calls for. Have I worn them this summer? No. Am I happy to have them in my collection? Yes, definitely. And the heel is quite high. I haven't measured it, but I would think it's something like a maybe 9cm heel or something. Or maybe 10. I mean, they're definitely higher than these, that's for sure. I think they're super cute, and also just, like I said in that video where I found them, it's just also about the lure of my grandma just clip-clopping around Austria or wherever she was at the time in these gorgeous heels. And I just have them in the little box, and they just live there comfortably. A divisive pair of shoes. I polled you guys on Instagram about these shoes. These were a hit or miss. Basically, 40% of you were just like, oh my god, that is off-brand for you, why would you keep them? But 60% of you were like, oh my god, fabulous, I love them. And I am kind of agreeing with you that they're off-brand for me, but I kind of also feel like they're fabulous and that they're the nude pair of heels that I didn't have before. These are just the most fabulous shoes I've ever seen, and I get it. They kind of give, I don't know what, they don't give luxurious equestrian cafe. On that point, I definitely do agree. And I agree that they're off-brand. More on brand would have probably been to get another pair of Manolo Blahnik Hangisis, but I kind of thought, I don't have any nude heels. I kind of got swept up in the Rene Caovilla universe when I was in Venice, and I realized that Rene Caovilla is from Venice. They started making shoes there, and they started by making just beautiful handmade shoes, and they've continued doing that ever since. So this was kind of more of a, this is for the love of beautiful things for me. These are completely handmade, and they're just such a gorgeous pair of shoes. Like, if someone told me these were handmade, I would be like, no, I could not make these. This is just next level craftsmanship. And for that, I'm just like, no, this is brilliant. And like I said, I don't have a pair of nude heels, right? First, when I asked you guys about these, I asked about a red pair of heels. I think the red ones would have been a little bit more difficult to style. I think the nude ones will be just perfect. In like a little black dress or something, and just pair like a sparkly nude heel with it. I think this will be such a fun shoe to style. Now these also, just for complete transparency, is probably not something I'm gonna wear a lot because, like I said, these are completely completely handmade. Do you see that sparkly sole? Like, I don't want to get like marks on this sparkly sole. Like, it's just so perfect. And I read up on these too. Many people said that you should probably size up half a size, so I did that. So I sized up to a size 38 in these as well, and they fit me perfectly. I was scared that the little kind of coil thing up the leg would be uncomfortable. I'm happy to report that when I've like walked around in my apartment, it's been quite comfortable. Like, it holds you in place like no other. It feels like someone is like, no, you're staying in this shoe. It feels like someone is holding on to you, basically. I got them on Vestiaire Collective for basically 6,000 Swedish crowns. So I guess like $600. New from the store, these are like $2,250, right? So that taken into consideration as well, I'm so happy I found them on a good deal. They came with the box, they came with the little authenticity card, and I just need to share these. Like, do you see? Can we focus on these heels for a second? Like, you just need to see this level of detail. Like, that sparkle and this sparkle, it's just unmatched, and I think it's so beautiful. And can you just imagine that someone has made this shoe by hand? I mean, that is crazy to me. This was more for the love of beautiful things versus a shoe that I will wear a lot, but still, I don't have a nude heel, and I think a nude heel is kind of a classic in anyone's wardrobe, right? So I thought, why buy the boring standard kind of just pump nude heel when I can buy the sparkly ones from Rene Caovilla on the pre-loved market for a good deal. Guys, this was my complete summer shoe collection. This was probably quite a lengthy video, but I am very happy with where my shoe collection is at the moment. And currently, I'm not really looking to buy any more shoes because obviously I got the Rene Caovillas that I was kind of craving to get. So now I'm just content with my shoe collection, and I am just very grateful to have all of these beautiful shoes in my collection. Which of these shoes were your favorite? Are you convinced now that you've seen these on video, or do you still think they're hideous? Do let me know. Guys, thank you for spending all of this time and space with me. I hope you enjoyed this little rambly, just casual on the floor video talking about shoes. And also, I would love to know, what are like your ride or die shoes for summer? Maybe there's a category of shoes that I'm just missing out on and that you need to tell me about. So please do share all your recommendations in the comments. Thank you once again for spending this time and space with me, and I will see you back here with my next video. And until then, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.